these Grinches over the last few weeks. I apologize to John and Dave because that class didn't go on. They don't let you do a class with one person. While we're waiting another minute, I'll show you this one. This was my, yeah, it's not going to show up very well. This was my carving of an old guy. Somebody said he looked like Claire.
Hey.
So anyways, got his umbrella
here than I do.
He's just out for a walk. All right. If we're ready to go, I'm ready to roll. Okay. So what we wanted to do, the idea was to just do some videos since we can't meet, do a class. And then we'll do a class, and that way for those who can't attend, we put it on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel. So the idea was to do a Santa. And so I come up with these little, I see these all over the place. Everybody has their own version of them. Tall hat Santa, skinny tall hat Santa. And the advantage of doing this one is we're not going to do eyes. So if you'll see, there's no eyes on these folks. Here, roll it around here. He has no eyes, and he has no arms or hands. So we're going to do basically a nose, cheek, a mouth, hair, hat, and a robe. So as we said in the video, you need to start with a 1x1x4, and that's what this is. And I've laid out the marks here. Let me give you the rundown on the marks because I have a paper here. The top of the hat, let me make sure I'm flipped around right. The top of the hat is only about 1/2 inch. And then you've got 3/4 of an inch here. And then, sorry, 1/2 inch here, 3/4 and 1/4. And then you've got 2 inches. And then you've got a 3/8 and 1/4. And those are rough measurements. You don't have to have them perfectly done, but it depends on what kind of hat you look like. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go from here. This is our first step. Go from here to here. So the very first step, we're going to round a little bit of this top, and we're going to come to that point. So let me I have a piece of wood to work on. I said that's what we were going to do, and then I didn't get myself another piece of wood. So, all right, here we go. Always remember your safety. I asked the question the other day, should I do this without a glove so you could see what I'm doing? And Jim just about chewed my head off through the camera. He says, no, do it right. And he's absolutely right. So if you want me to give you a minute to draw your lines, here's your numbers. This is 1/2 inch from the top to the bottom of the pom-pom, the thing at the top. This is a 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the pom-pom to the top of the ruff on the hat. This is 1/4 of an inch from there to here, the bottom of the hat, brim. It is 2 inches from here to here. It is 3/8 of an inch here and 1/4 here. So 1/2, 3/4, 1/4, 2, 3/8, and 1/4. These look a lot like what Allison already did, so she could probably teach the class. I may just turn it over to her. Anyway, first thing I'm going to do is make my stop cuts. I want to do it right here at this bottom of the pom-pom. I want to make stop cuts on all 4 of those corners. So I'm just going to put my knife in there, stop cut, all 4 corners. And actually, if I wanted to just jump right into it, I don't have to do that because I could take every corner from the bottom of the top of that brim and just take off the corners. All I did was took off the corners. Now, reconnecting your lines if you want to, but I'm going to take those lines off. I'm just going to do a stop cut down and to it. Down and to it. Okay. So all I'm doing is just taking the corners down. Up. Okay. So when you get those 4 stop cuts in, deep in every one of them where the corners are. Not sure who's got the radio on, but it's nice music. It's all right. I have to say that about 20 times a day with students. I'm sure Kathy does too. So now that I've got the hat pom-pom kind of roughed in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the hat to it. So at this line, which is at the top of the brim, I'm just going to carve from there up to the hat pom-pom. And then you'll notice in between each corner, I've got flat sides. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the flat sides. And all I'm trying to do is bring that hat so it's got a shape up to the bottom of the pom. So is that clear enough? Am I not explaining something clear enough, or has somebody got a question I can answer while I'm fiddling around with this? Clear enough? All right. So there's that first step I told you we were going to get to. Okay.
Eric,
Yes, sir.
can you bring the object closer? There we go. I mean, I know what you're doing. I'm just talking about the presentation for the video. So yeah,
Gotcha.
we can see it real well now. Thank you.
Okay. So down here, you can't see it very well. Okay.
I can see what it is. I can't see the extreme detail.
Well, if you remember what we did on Sunday,
Right.
my camera was closer to here, but
Yep.
it actually was right in the way I couldn't see the carving. So
No, I remember that.
I moved it up some so I could do this.
Yeah.
All right, the next step we're going to do is this. So you can see we round the pom-pom a little bit and we start to shape the brim of the hat. Now at this point, once you start to carve, I would suggest you pick a corner. It doesn't matter which corner you pick a corner. I'm going to make a line right here. This is going to be the front of the face. So when I do the drawing, I'm going to do a drawing on it in a couple minutes. I want to keep that one because this is where the nose is going to be. If I treated every corner the same, this nose would disappear. Anyway, this is where we're going next. And after this, then we'll do some more drawing on it. I'm going to round that hat, that pom-pom, sorry. And then I'm going to take in these cuts right here so that I'm separating the body from the hat. You with me? Or as the kids say, do you feel me? Anyway, there's the front. I got my marking line on there. That's going to be the front. So now I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to round this. I'm going to round the ball first. So the first thing I'm going to do is take that pom-pom and I'm just going to round it. So the easiest way to do that is to cut off corners. The best way to make a circle is to take a round object is to take a square thing and cut off every corner. Every time you cut off a corner, you create two more. And each one of those corners are smaller than the other one. And you can see that I'm rounding it. And so I'm going to just continue rounding. I don't have to have the final shape right now because my ball wasn't in the final shape in the one that we were doing a minute ago. So again, I'm just trying to get some shape to it that looks a little bit round. Because I'm going smaller, I'm going to go around it laterally. And I'm making it rounder each cut I make. And so all of these sharp lines right here, I want to make sure I'm cutting those off as well. So I'm going to go back to the top. And I just sharpened my knives so they're whistling right through this wood fairly easily. So every cut I make, it gets rounder and rounder, even with all the sharp marks on it. So how we doing? Anybody want to show their progress so far?
Sure.
Hold yours up to the camera. There we go. All right. Next step, or do I need to give you a few seconds to catch up? Okay.
Just a couple seconds.
Okay.
I didn't make my original cuts deep enough, so I gotta catch up.
So you have the opportunity to make this hat as small as you want on the top, make it as round as you want, make it as big as you want. And the triangle, the angled part of the hat, we'll trim that up a little bit later. For those of you that want to jump ahead, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut in the stop cuts on the top of the brim. You can do that with a knife. You can do it with a V-tool. It's entirely up to you. A V-tool might keep it straighter, especially if you haven't drawn the lines on there. I've drawn mine so you know where they're at, so you can see them. But if you haven't drawn the lines, either take a minute to do that or eyeball where your straight is. Make sure you know and you see I cut off the line for my front. I'm now missing the front. So I got to pick what's the front of the face going to be. I can't remember where I did that.
Barry,
Yes.
this is Claire. I'm leaving for tonight. See everybody next week.
Okay, Claire, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here.
You bet.
Bye.
So there's my front. All right. V-tool from corner to corner. So you can see I V-tooled every corner. And now what I'm going to do is put a stop cut in there and cut down to it. Just take a little sliver off. I don't need to take off much. That's all I'm taking off right there. It's just separating the top of the brim of the hat, separating the white part from the red part. If you know what a Santa hat looks like. If you don't, I'll run to get one and show you. All I did was deepen those cuts. And now I'm going to cut the corners off all the way around that I've got already. So I made these cuts here. I've got corners here. So all I'm going to do is try to round that hat a little bit more. And then the lines that I cut out at the top of that brim, I want to do it at the bottom as well. So take your V-tool. If you've drawn your lines, this line is about 1/4 of an inch, although mine's a little bit bigger on the video. But I'm just going to make those cuts again. V-tool cuts right there to get that cut there. Do it on all 4 sides. Okay, I'll give you a second or 2 or 3 or 4 to catch up. But I've made this cut. So I've made this cut right along here. So the indentation of the bottom of that hat all the way around. Am I too loud or not loud enough, or just about right?
I think you're just about right.
Okay.
Pause for a second, Laura, please.
Yes, ma'am. So we've cut those in, those lines and the lines on top. We shaped the hat as well. So the next thing we're going to do is shape the brim. So this brim around here, which is the white part of the hat, it is this part right here. We're just going to shape that and make it underneath and on top, and we're going to take the corners off. Again, remember which side is the front, because that's the one where you're going to leave the most wood for the nose, because it's the thing that sticks out the farthest. So if you haven't already marked yours, it might not be a bad idea for you to take your piece of wood, and if you look at what I've got here, I've got my lines laid out. They're not perfect, but they're close enough. Okay, we ready for the next step?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's my front, so I'm not going to work on that one just yet, but what I want to do is take the corners off. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the corners off, each one of the three corners, and then I want to deepen. Here's the front again. I haven't taken off the front. So you notice I've shaped the sides. So now what I want to do is bring the head up to that brim. So where I did my V-tool cuts all the way across, I want to do them again in the corners that I cut off. I got three corners where I cut them off. I'm trying to show you all the angles. If I miss you on one, I'm sorry. But all I did was sharpen that out. Now what I want to do is the same thing that I did at the top of the brim, I want to do at the bottom. So I'm just going to bring that up to it. And I'm just taking out that sliver, that slice of wood on the bottom of each one of those sides. Don't have to take off much. Again, this is one of those carvings where you can do almost anything you want to them. If you really want to, you can put hands on him and arms on him. I didn't, to keep this thing small, but I've gone around each side and cut in the bottom of the brim, bottom of the hat brim. All right, now that I'm back around to the front of the hat, this is where the nose is going to be. If you look at the profile here, the nose is going to be the thing that sticks out the farthest. And so with the nose being out the farthest, this hat's got to move back just a little bit, just like we did on these corners. So from the bottom of that brim, I just want to take that sharp edge corner off. And then I've got to go back in and redo that line right there. So I took that line off when I cut the corner. So I just want to do a stop cut there and reshape that hat a little bit.
That's on the nose?
I'm not on the nose yet.
Okay. What one are you on? Or it doesn't
Above the
matter.
nose. So here's where my face is. My line is where the face is going to be. So
Okay.
here's where the nose is going to be. So this is all going to be back behind that.
Okay.
You're just trying to round this hat down here so that when you get to the nose, we have plenty of room to do that. Okay. So now we're to the second step, which is right here. Here's the one I just carved. Here's the one my example is. Now, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. My watch says 8:01 and 25, and at 8:02, I am going to show you how to draw in what else you need on here if you haven't already drawn, because we need to know where the beard is. We need to know where the back of the head is. We need to know where the bottom of the robe is. We need to know where the bottom of the beard is. So 8:01 and 43. So 15 seconds. Give me enough time to wet my whistle. How many times have you heard the most important tool in your box is a pencil? You need one now. Again, here's my front, and let me use a marker so it'll be easier for you to see, because I imagine on the lighting, we still haven't got the lighting perfect. Anyway, here's the front, here's the face. This is where I want the face. It's going to be on this corner right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to calculate where my beard is going to be. So this line right here, that is 1/4 and 3/8. You do the math on that, but it's about the thickness of your finger. That's the bottom of the beard, that line right there. So if you see where I'm at, we're going to draw to the bottom of that beard. The beard is going to go right here. You can move it up a little bit more if you want a shorter beard, but that's the depth of where we want to go. And if you see on the side, I've got lines. So from that point, my beard is going to go up at about a 45-degree angle, maybe a 60 according to the engineer Steve. Not sure. Anyway, where those lines come out, this is one side, this is the front. Where those lines come out, I'm going to connect them across the back, and then a little bit of angle at the end. So again, there's the front with the beard. And when I drew those lines to there and there, I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to draw straight across. That's the back of the head. And then we're going to come back around to the beard again. Okay? So let me run through that again. From the bottom of where the beard is going to be, I'm going to draw a line up. I want to try to get those lines together. Sometimes I don't, but that means that we can carve them together. That's the beard. This is going to be the beard here with the face right here. On the back, when that beard comes up on the back, you want to connect one side of the beard to the other. One side to the other, and then if you keep rolling around, that one comes to the beard. Questions so far? Am I going too fast?
Just right.
Just right for Larry? All right. Now, going back to your pencil, or my pen in my case, I want to draw a great big nose. This is a no-see-um. He does not have any eyes. That's the advantage of it. Figure out how far down you want the nose to come. I'm going to draw my center line, and that's where the top of the peak of the nose is going to be. So I'm going to go from that point right there, and I'm going to draw a great big circle. The bigger I draw it, the smaller I can make it. The smaller I draw it, even smaller it's got to be. There's his nose. So I can make it big so that if I cut off something, I can make it smaller and still fit. But I'm going to make it as big as I can that looks a little like it's got a little bit of sense there. So take a moment and draw that nose in. Straight down your center line, straight on the edge, round half circle on each side. He's coming here to say hello.
Very good.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay. Halfway down the nose is where I want to put the cheek. So I'm going to put a dot right there and a dot right there. And then all I'm going to do is from that dot, come up under the hat. Little half circle there, half moon. So all I'm doing is making cheeks now. Okay, ready to put your pen away and start cutting again? Because here we go. Back to the knife. Right under the nose, perpendicular, stop cut. So I'm going to go perpendicular, straight in. Make that stop cut there. And then take out the chip underneath the nose. So you can see that stop cut that I cut out. Okay. This is a difficult cut, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it upside down because I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to lay it down at a very severe angle. And I'm going to slice that line. So I'm not going straight in perpendicular to the wood like that. I'm going to lay it down. And I couldn't tell you what the degrees on there, probably a 20 degree. But what I want to do is outline those cheeks. So that cut I just made right there allows me then to come back in and take a slice off of one side of the cheek and a slice off of the cheek right next to the nose. You see how that, you see that shadow right there. So what I did was I cut right here and then I angled my knife, not undercutting it, but I angled my knife to take off just a sliver of that right there. All I needed was just a slice. Okay, I'll do it again on the other side to show you what I did. Let me clean this up real quick. I got a booger hanging out there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So,
Eric,
yep, yes.
you have, am I correct in saying that you have not touched the nose?
Other than the very top, when we first cut that in, we have not touched the nose, the bottom, and the top. No.
Okay, so your two sliver cuts are strictly on the cheek and not adjacent to the nose.
Yep, they're at the point where the cheek meets the beard.
Okay,
Out here.
yep, understand.
Where we drew these half circles right here. Yeah, go ahead.
Eric,
Yeah.
we got 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Lay that knife down severely and move my wood. It's easier to move the wood than it is to move the knife. And I'll just take a sliver off of here. So the question is, Larry, do you want to continue with another meeting after this, or does everybody want to cut for the night?
It's your call.
Well, no, I can carve all night long. So you tell me what you want.
Well, I'd be happy to go for a while longer, but at this moment, it looks like we have Kathy and Martin and Steve and
Doug,
Tony and Rosie, Doug. How many have we got? Everybody needs to chime in. Do you want to stay longer? What do you want to do?
Steve would like to be done for tonight. I'm getting stiff in my chair.
Okay. Rosie, you're not even carving, are you?
I'm not. I'm just observing the
Okay.
technique here.
Jim, are you carving? Jim, are you carving? You have to unmute him. Somebody has to unmute him.
No,
Okay. Kathy and Dave, are you carving? Good work there, buddy, Dave.
I'm getting it. It's not as pretty as Eric's, but it's getting there.
Okay.
if you'd like, we can do this another night, or we can finish this up next Thursday.
That'd be a good excuse to get together for next Thursday. You want to do that?
Just leave it all right here and start next Thursday again.
Well, you still have
okay with
5
that.
minutes.
Huh?
You still have 5.
All right, I'll use those 5 minutes. Here's what I'm going to do. I've cut out the sides of the cheek. I want to cut out the edge of the nose. So all I'm going to do is take that stop cut and do it again right around the nose. I'm going to do the same thing around the nose and take that sliver out right here on the side on the cheek and the nose. I'll do the same thing here. Let me do that again. Right there, lay that knife down, take out that sliver right there. So I've outlined the cheeks and I've outlined the nose. Nose is really sharp. I'm just going to shave a little bit off and give it a turn at the bottom. And then I did not cut these two wings of the nose, so I'm going to do that now. Wing of the nose goes straight in, perpendicular, slice out. Upside down, straight in, slice out. I'm gonna clean up these lines because I've drawn lines all over the place. It's probably making it look ugly.
Can you hold that up a little closer to the camera? Thank you.
Don't you love this stuff that goes all the way to the satellite 350 miles away from us and then back down in just a nanosecond? You say it, I do it. So that's where we're at right now. I've got cheeks. They're not real rounded yet, but at least I've got them positioned where I want them to be. I've got a nose, which isn't really shaped yet, but it's still okay. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing some cleanup. You can see the cheeks right here are real square. So every time I cut something, I want to cut out a triangle. It makes it easier to show shadows when you do those triangles, and you actually make it look cleaner than it really is. Every time I have a line meeting another line, I'm going to cut out a triangle or a shadow. Okay. Take out a corner there. Take out another one right here. Take out another one right there at the top of the nose, top of the cheek. That makes sense what I've done?
Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Ready for one more step?
Do we have time?
Do we have time, Larry?
We got 4.5 minutes.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. These two beard lines right here on both sides. I want to take out that line all the way around the back of the head and all the way to the front of the body. I'm going to do that with a V tool. It's going to be the quickest and easiest. So I'm just going to follow up. And if your wood is good, it should work. Straight across the back, try to make those lines match. I've got beard lines in there now. All the way around. Sorry, it keeps flipping on me. The next thing I want to do,
What's a good place to stop?
I want to round that. So I'm going to take out that because this line doesn't matter now. That's just telling me where the bottom of the beard. So the next thing is the top of the robe tuft, the part that's going to be the robe edging. And that might be a good place to stop about there. But my next cut would be to undercut the beard lines and the hair, shape these edges of the beard in the bottom, and start to bring that in like this. May not see that.
And Larry, what I might suggest is that we call this maybe part A, so the people that aren't carving yet can get caught up, and then everybody and so they can watch the recording.
Okay.
And then next Thursday we can do part B and finish it out, so everybody can have.
Right.
Eric?
Excuse me, Eric, can you hold up the finished products?
Yep.
Again, closer to the camera, both of
Yep.
those?
I'll hold those up. I want to talk to Larry for a second. Larry, when you're recording, when you're done, it'll save it in the Zoom app or the Zoom program.
Okay.
You got to go in there and click it. When you click on that video, it'll ask you, do you want to convert it? When you say yes, it'll start converting and downloading it onto your computer wherever you want it. And then once you save it there, then you can upload it to wherever you want.
Okay.
So I started to say, I don't know how you can send it to me, because email, you might be able to send an email to me, or at least, yeah, I don't know how you're going to get it to me. Anyway, I can get it to our YouTube channel if you'd like.
All right.
Tony, does that help? See what it looks like?
Yeah, that looks good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That worked real well. I just took screenshots and it'll take care of it for me. Thanks, Eric.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. We're down to less than a minute. I'm going to end the meeting. And we'll see you all next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. You'll get an email.
Thanks for putting all this together, you guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good to
thank you
see all
very
y'all.
much.
You.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.